So today we are going to create a weather app using Python. It will be a graphical user interface app that will also have access to an API that will enable us to have current weather of the cities that will apply to it. So I'm already in my Visual Studio Code editor. I'll create a file called weather.py, okay? Now here we will have our imports, okay? So I'm going to import a library called Tkinter. So Tkinter is a built-in Python library that enables us to create graphical user interfaces, okay? So we need to initialize it, okay? To initialize it, I will call root, and then it will be equal to tkinter.tk, okay? So here now we've initialized a window, okay? This is our window will be called root. So for this to run smoothly, we have to make it our main loop. So we'll say root dot main loop. So if we run this now, it is called Python 3 weather. You see, we have this graphical user interface, but it has nothing in it. So let's give it a title and make it a little bit big. So to give it a title, we will say root.title. We use the root variable and then call title method out of it, and then we will name this weather app, okay? Then now if we run this now, as you can see now the name is already written there, okay? Then now the next thing we want to do is to make it be bigger, so we'll use the geometry, okay? So I'll just say root.geometry, then we pass as a string 400 by 350, okay? So 400 here is the width and 350 is the height, okay? So let's run this now. Then you can see now our app. The width is 400 and the height is 350, okay? So our app looks basic right now. So we want it to have a button, a label, and an entry. So let's have a label for the city that will say city name. So we'll say city label because we'll be supplying it with the city names. So city label will be equal to tkinter.label, okay? Then it will be in our root window, and then we'll give it a text that say city name, okay? So this is the label that we will have that will show someone that, okay, here you're supposed to write a city name, but now we need to position it in our window. So we'll use the grid method to position it in our window. So the grid method takes a row and a column, okay? So the first thing we need to supply is the row. We want this to be in the first row. So the first row is row 0. Then the first column is column 0. So let's run this and see what it looks like. Now you can see it's in the first row and the first column. So row 0 is the first row. So it starts with row 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. It goes down. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The same applies to the column, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, okay? So that's how we will be positioning our widgets in our window. The next thing I want us to have is an entry, okay? Let me just spell it right, entry. So we'll have city entry. So this will be the name we will apply to we'll apply as the name of the city. So it will be an entry field, okay? And then it will be in our root window. But now an entry doesn't have a text to display. It will just be a blank place where you write something. Then let's position it. We'll use the grid method to position it. Let's position it in the row 0, then column 1, just next to the label, okay? So if you run this, you see it's in row 0 but column 1, because this was column 0 and then column 1, okay? Now let's have a button here in this third column. So let's have a button, okay? So we'll just call it my button, and then it will be equal to tkinter.button, okay? Then it will be in our root window, but now we have to make the button say something. What will it show? It will show submit, okay? Show submit. And then now we need to place it in our window. So we'll use the grid method to place it in the window. It will be in the first row, which is row 0, then column 2, because we want it to be just right after the entry, okay? So if we run this now, you can see that it is here, just next to this. So this is in row all of these are in row 0, column 1, column 0, column 1, column 2, okay? So we want also to have a text place here to show whatever we will have searched here. Let's say we'll search for, let's say, Boston. Then if we press submit, it should return whatever weather details for Boston in something. So we will use a text widget for that, because text widgets, they show multi-lines, okay, of text. So I will just say this is our display. So it will be display is equals to Tkinter dot text, okay. Then text, it will be in our root window, but it won't show anything. Then we want to position it, so we'll use the grid method to position it. And then it will be in row 1, just below the first widgets. Then column, let's make it just be in column 0. So if we run this now, you'll see that if I expand this, yes, the text widget is there. It is in the second row, because this is row 0, row 1, and then it is in the first column, which is column 0, okay? Column 0, column 1, column 2. But it doesn't look nice, okay? So this text widget, it's already custom height and width. They're the ones that are spoiling. So let us just work on that. So we'll come to a text widget. We give it a height that we want, which is 4, and the width that we want, let's say 45, okay? So if we run this now, you can see here, at least it is now smaller. It is 35 in width and 4 in height, okay? But I want it to be from here up to like here, okay? I want it to span through these columns, okay? So how many columns do we have? We have column 1, column 0, 1, and 2. Those are 3 columns. So we will just come here and then we will say column span, for it to span across 3 columns, because there's column 0, column 1, and column 2, okay? So if we run this now, you can see that now it spans through these 3 columns, okay? Column 0, 1, and 2. So yeah, now we will see that the geometry we applied is a little bit big, so we can decide to either do away with it or make it be equal to this, okay? For example, if we now come to our geometry and comment it off, then run this, you see that it is now much better, okay? It accommodates everything, okay? So I think this is much better, but you can custom it. For example, you can just try and say let this be 200 as the width, then the height will be around 150. Then now I'll have to rerun it again. Now if I run this again, now you see this is small, so we'll have to work on, see the height is good, let's work on the width. Let's say this one will be around 350, okay? And then run this now. See, 350 is just next to it. Let me bring it back. If I try to expand it, we're just missing a bit, so let's say 355. So that was what goes on when you want to make it. I'll just say 360, okay? Let's see 360 now. Yeah, 360 is like it, okay? That's 365. Yeah. So that looks much better. 365 by this, but you can reduce this to be 100. So if you want to use that, you see it works well like this, 360 by 100, okay? That is use the geometry. Or you can decide to just comment it out, and then now it will just use the largest widget's geometry to make the height and the width. So now we want to be able to write something here, let's say Boston. Then if I press this submit, I want it to get this, what I've written here. So we will come to the entry widget, because that is where we're going to write something. So it has text variable parameter then we will just call it, make it to be equals to my city, because my city is what I'm going to apply there. Then on top of it, just here we'll say my city is equals to Tkinter dot string variable. Okay, so what is going on here? When you enter something in this entry, it will be a text variable. Okay, so we'll name it my city. But now we want to show this Tkinter that this is a string variable. It is a string that we've entered here. Okay, it's a string, so it will be Tkinter dot string variable. So my city is now what you enter there. Okay, now we will let us use lambda to see if whatever we write there will be displayed. So if you come to the button has a special command attribute that you make it, you give it to execute something. Okay, it's a command. If you press the button, the command does something when you press the button. So let's use lambda. Okay, lambda, and then we just want to print whatever we've written in the entry widget. So we'll just say my city, because my city is what we said is what is written dot get. You want to get the my city string. Okay, we get it. So if you run this now, text variable, id misspelled is variable. Okay, so if I run this and I say Boston, submit, you see Boston. If I say Nairobi, okay, it shows. Okay, but now we want this to be displayed here, because when we will get the weather of this particular city, it will be displayed in our text variable, text widget here. So we want it to be displayed here. Let's just make this, instead of being printed down there, to be displayed here. Okay, so I will have to write a function. So just below the geometry, we will define a function. Let's say get city. Okay, get city weather. Then now here we will say city is equals to my city. My city is the city that we have written dot get. Okay, we get it. Okay, let's just print it as we were doing before. Then now here in the command we will call that get city weather. Okay, but we will not execute it, we'll just call the function. Okay, so now if you run this, you'll just see if I say Boston again, just prints down there. Okay, Nairobi just prints down there. But now we want it to be shown in the display widget. Okay, so we'll just come here and say display dot insert. We will insert it. Then we want to insert it from the first index, so you say 1.0 because it is a text, so it's part of the string. And then what do you want to insert? City. Okay, so let's run this. See if I say Boston. It prints it, and at the same time it inserts it. So if I just say Boston, see, it's not super pleasant. We want to just press Boston, and then what we've pressed is what is written here once. Okay, so meaning whenever we press this, it has to clear whatever is already here and then insert that. Okay, so we'll just come to display dot delete. We want to delete everything. Whenever we press the button, it deletes and then it inserts. So it will delete from the first index to the end, so that will be Tkinter dot end. Okay, because we're going to the end, the last index. Okay, so if we run this now and I say Boston, you see, even if I press it multiple times, it doesn't become many. Just write it once, Nairobi, Boston. Okay, yeah, so that's a nice functionality. So now I'm going to show you how we are going to use the Open Weather API, and then we will incorporate it such that now whenever we write a name here like Boston, and then we press submit, we get the weather. For us to have an API key to use in our weather to get the current weather, we'll come to this, we'll search this Open Weather map, then you come to this site, Open Weather. So you will sign in with them, So I'm already signed in, so I'm already in, so I'm already logged in. So you'll come to this API part, and then you will come to the current weather section, and then you select the API doc. Once you've selected that, this is what we are going to use. So in my email, they've already sent me the API key. So this is the API key that I'm going to use to access the current weather data, okay? So let's get back to our code and see what we're going to do. So we're going to use our API key here to be able to get data from the Open Weather API, okay? So I'm going to create a api.py file just to show you how it works, and then we will incorporate it, okay? So I'll paste my API key there. So API key is equals to this, okay? Just put it there. Now we need to see how we need to make the API call. So this is an API call that they are showing us that we can use. So I'll just paste it here, paste it there. So this is an example of an API call. And then if you see this example, you see it will be a dictionary, okay? So we'll have to add HTTPS, okay, there. So we need a library to enable us to, that will enable us to go to that site and then get the data. So we'll import request. So we're going to import requests. Then we're going to say request.get, okay? And then we will pass the URL. So we want to define this URL, but for now we'll just say request.get. Then what it is going to get is going to be our weather data, okay? Weather data. So our weather data will be equals to this request.get. So we're importing request, and then we're going to use the get to go to a specific URL, which is, we are going to use this that we've been given to make a call with. Then now we will get what we want, okay? So I'll just say my city. My city will be equal to, let's say, Boston. That's a random city. Then API key, already have my API key. So I'll just put it up here. Okay. Now I want my API call, and then it will be this, okay? Copy, then I'll paste it as a string. So we will add HTTP here, okay, for it to go to this website. But now I have my city here, so instead of using city name, I'll just say my city. And then instead of using your API key, I'll just put my API key, the one I've defined up here. Then I'm going to use a formatted string. So it is in a formatted string. So a formatted string, if string, helps us to just input variables like this, and then it will put them in place of this. So if we put here our API call as the URL, then what will let's get if let's print the status code, okay, of this HTTP request. So status code. If the status code is 200, then you know that everything is okay. So we'll say Python 3 API.py. Then we get 200, meaning that everything is okay up to this point. Now, whenever we've made this request, what we will have will be in a JSON file. So we'll have to put this to be a JSON, okay? So it will be a JSON file, okay? So if we run this now, then we print weather data that we'll get from that API call, we will see that now we get a dictionary down here. So you see we have this dictionary, okay? Yeah, so what do we want from this dictionary? The coordinates are longitude, latitude. The weather is a list, base, stations, okay? Main has temperature minimum, temperature minimum, pressure. So let's get the main because it has this, okay? Let's get the main. So we will say print weather data main. So if we run this now, we get this dictionary that has the temperature maximum, pressure, and humidity. So we want to be able to write the pressure, humidity, and the temperature of the particular place. So to hide that, let's say, use a string notation. Say my weather, okay? My weather, the weather of the place will be equals to. Now, because we're going to get the main part of it, let's just get this up here, okay? So that it returns the JSON format, which is a dictionary, and then it gets the main key, the key in the dictionary, which is main, and then returns from that data. So right now, if we print with the data, let me show you what it shows. It just shows this, okay? Shows this. So we're already getting the main part in just one line, okay? That is the beauty of Python. So now, let's say that now we want to, I will come here, and then I want the temperature. So I'll just say temperature. And then I can copy this, and then I can say I want the pressure. Then I want the humidity, because those are the things I'm interested in, okay? So if I run this now, I get the temperature, pressure, and the humidity. So here now, I can put this in one line. I can say my weather, okay? My weather is equals to this, copy that, plus this, copy that, plus this, okay? So we are concatenating the string. So if I print my weather, it will just have this in one line, okay? You see, now I have to put this to be one string. My weather is this plus this plus this, but these are there. It has added them up. So we will say temperature is plus space, okay, plus this as a string, okay. Then we want to also add a space here, plus this as a string, okay. We can make this to say, pressure. Then the last part will be this, which is humidity. I can say humidity is plus I'm back here, plus space plus a string version of this, okay, because this is an integer. So let's run it and see what we get. Temperature is this, pressure, humidity, okay. So pressure, space, humidity is space, and now it will be good. Temperature is 279, pressure 13, humidity is that, okay. Actually humidity has a lot of space, so let's just use one there. Pressure there, right, like that. I think right now I can even remove this, then I just add space there, okay, to make it even here. But here I can remove this, then I add space there, okay, so that we can have little line of code. Temperature is 279, pressure, humidity is 81. So this is what we want eventually. So now we know how to use this API call and the bake key, and then now we can know how to use the request. And now let's incorporate it in our weather app. Okay, so I'll minimize this. So I'll come to the top here, and then I'll just import requests, and then I'll come back here. I'll just copy this up to here, okay? Just copy this, then I'll paste it here, okay? But now my city, I'll remove my city. Then this API call, also I'll remove it from here. Then I'll just put it inside this function. Okay, so what is going on here? Our API call is this, and then it will get that, the main part of it. Just transferring our code. Now we want to get this part, okay? Copy this. Then we will add this here, okay? So I will delete this. So when we press the get city weather, we need to get the city first. So city will be equal to, my city, because it's this variable, will be equals to, what did I call this? My city also. So let me call this city, because I don't want them to coincide. Equals to my city. So city is equals to my city dot get. I call this city because I want to pass it now here. So here I'll call my city. I'll call city. So what we will write will get it, what it's going to get, and then we'll pass it here. And then weather temperature is that, and then you want to return here my weather. So let's run this. Let's run Python 3 weather.py, okay? So I'll say Boston. You see, temperature is this, pressure is this, humidity is this. You can say Nairobi. Temperature is this, humidity is this. So let's say we say Nairobi. You see, we have an error here, and that is not good. So we will put this in a try except block. So we will try this. We will try this. Then we will accept key error, okay? Then we will do this here. And then we will say, we will insert, let me say message, okay? Our message will be equals to, please enter a valid city name. Then here we will add the message, okay? So if we run this now, if I just say Boston, but if I say Boston, just the correct one, see, it works. If I say source, tells me please enter valid city, okay? So that is a good thing. Even if I write 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, please enter valid city. So our app is working, guys, okay? And now you can use it to get any city, okay? And it's working perfect, okay? So guys, if you want me to make more of these videos, please make sure to like and also subscribe. You can also comment below to tell me the kind of videos you'd like me to make, okay? So don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification, okay? Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.